What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. Today we're talking all about how to grow lettuce in the summertime heat. A lot of people think of this as a cool season crop, but I'm going to show you how you can successfully grow lettuce in the heat of the summer. Let's jump into it. So the number one thing when it comes to growing lettuce in the summertime is number one, selecting good varieties. You're going to need to select varieties that are heat tolerant, that have proven themselves to grow in the summertime heat. And generally when it gets hot out, lettuce tends to either go to seed or it tends to get really bitter. So we've actually found that if a variety will grow really well in the summertime, it'll also grow well in the wintertime. The varieties we currently grow for our spring mix, you can also use these varieties for head lettuce, are Muir, Magenta, Red Summer Sweet Crisp, and Salanova Green Sweet Crisp. These are the four varieties we grow, and we grow these varieties for our spring mix specifically. Now I have to give a huge shout out to Ray Tyler at Rose Creek Farm. He has mastered growing lettuce in the summertime heat, so a lot of what I'm teaching you today has come from what I've learned from him. So the second thing you're going to need to utilize when it gets really hot out is shade cloth. So I'm standing beside a bed of lettuce that we just transplanted yesterday, and what we do when it gets over 90 degrees is once we've transplanted that bed of lettuce, we're gonna put shade cloth over the top of that lettuce bed for the first couple of weeks while that plant gets established. After that, we're gonna pull the shade cloth because we want that lettuce to fill out and get big enough to where we get a good yield from it. But anytime it's over 90 degrees, you're really gonna wanna utilize shade cloth either for the first 2 weeks after transplant or potentially the entire time that you're growing that crop. Now the way we make hoops for our beds so that we can pull the shade cloth over the top of it is with tension wire. You can get this at Lowe's. This is just normal tension wire that is used for chain link fence. Now, if you're wanting to purchase the shade cloth, I highly recommend you getting some from Bootstrap Farmer. I'll put a link down below to their shade cloth. And you can get a big roll and then cut it up into sections. And so it's actually pretty customizable for the width and the length of your shade cloth that you're wanting. And also when you buy their shade cloth and you cut it, it doesn't unravel like other shade cloth that you might find on Amazon. So that's where we've gotten ours from, and we really love it. Now the third thing we're utilizing is landscape fabric. And so we plant all of our lettuce transplants in landscape fabric. And the main purpose of this is obviously it eliminates weeding, but secondarily, the thing that landscape fabric does that's really counterintuitive is obviously in the springtime it holds heat in, but in the summertime when it's really hot out, it actually shades the soil. If you've ever measured the soil temp of bare soil compared to the soil temp of the soil that's covered by the landscape fabric, the soil temp will actually stay cooler under the landscape fabric. It's really interesting, and a lot of people think this doesn't make sense. However, it is true. Try it for yourself. And this really helps keep the root zone of that lettuce crop cool, which prevents it from getting bitter and going to seed. Now the last thing you need to be aware of is obviously this crop is going to need to be irrigated, and we have found both drip irrigation and overhead irrigation to be effective. If you're wanting an ultra easy overhead irrigation kit to set up, I'll put a link above to the aquifer irrigation kit, which we utilize on our farm. However, with growing lettuce, you want to keep the leaves of the lettuce crop as dry as possible. So if you're constantly irrigating it overhead, you could deal with some fungal issues, which we don't battle a lot, but we have successfully overhead irrigated our lettuce crop for the past couple years, and we've had no problems with fungal issues. However, other people would argue differently. So you can do either drip or overhead and successfully grow a lettuce crop, but those are the big things you're gonna need to focus on if you want to successfully grow lettuce when it's blazing hot outside. And if you found this content helpful, y'all make sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next one.